Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for me to call it a day on Classic World of Warcraft. I wanted to put this out because it's one of the most common questions I get is what am I up to in Classic? Am I still playing Classic? Because I didn't make much YouTube content at all on it. And the answer was yes. Yes, I was. I was playing Classic every week. I was enjoying raiding with my guild, well, twice a week, doing Onyxia and doing the MC raids and all that kind of stuff. And I enjoyed Classic as my off game. As my game to play when it was quiet. My guild was only raiding one day a week, and therefore I had plenty of time to play Classic and have fun with it, and I really enjoyed playing with the guys. It was a wonderful little relaxing experience for me, and I'm sad that I've had to say, yeah, my time is done with it. But there's two reasons why I've stopped playing Classic, and I've watched a lot of videos from other guys who have stopped playing and giving out these kind of long diatribes about changes and it's not quite what I was hoping for. This isn't my Classic. This isn't thing. Blizzard's let us down. All that kind of stuff. And for me, and I mean this very sincerely, for me, that's a whole bunch of bullshit. That is absolutely none of the reasons why I've decided to stop playing. So, without being painted with that brush, I feel it's important to lend my voice as to why I stopped playing Classic, because I feel there's more people who are kind of drifting towards my side than looking for some reason that the game is wrong. Now, that's not to say the game isn't different than original WoW. Of course it is. The game is different. Blizzard have made some changes. Not enough, though, for me anyway. As somebody who wasn't a die-hard Classic private server player, that is not who I was, to warrant, like, oh, I'm not playing this, this isn't right. You know, it's the game's fault. It's nothing else, it's just the game that's not right. First biggest problem was the issue that I honestly thought I was going to have before I even started playing, and that is, I've done this all before. And that was a big weight on my mind, is I've done this all before, and I know exactly where I'm going, and I know how it works already, and I've already done it. For a long time. For years, in fact. When Classic was out, when it was original. I'm an old school boomer type, you know? I did it at the same thing. So, farming Molten Core again ain't that fun. Because I already farmed Molten Core for literally years. I gave my time to it when it was already super easy and super on farm. And being in that position after 1 week, I'm kind of okay with, like, okay, I don't need to see this again. Because I've experienced what I wanted out of it. And the only reason I played, as many people do, was because I enjoyed the people I was playing with. I had fun. I loved being in a 40-man raid again and having all those people and all those voices coming together. That was cool. Killing Ragnaros for the first time again, that was really awesome. Farming it? No. No, that's not in my interest. And the same with Blackwing Lair. So the kind of player I would like to be in Classic is like, oh, Blackwing Lair's out. Let's clear it. Let's leave it alone until Ahn'Qiraj is out. Ahn'Qiraj is out. Let's clear it. Let's leave it alone now until Naxxramas is out. Then clear Naxxramas once and be done with it. That's kind of what I'm into. In terms of maintaining a character in Classic and all that kind of stuff, I just have no interest. I've done that already, and it wasn't for me. Which meant, on the back of that, when it came to like really min-maxing, which is what a lot of people are doing now in Classic, that wasn't for me either, because that wasn't what I was interested in. I didn't really want to spend a day and a half in Alterac Valley capping out and getting exalted. I wasn't particularly interested, because I know it's outdated. I know when it's outdated. I know what I'm outdating it with. And once again, I kind of did all of that already, and I'm leaving it behind. I'm fine with that. So that was one of the reasons. It's just the fact that I've done this before, and it's kind of like picking up an old game. Every year I like to play things like Bioshock. I like to play through Bioshock. And in a couple of hours I've had my hit, I've had my nostalgia fix, and then I can put it down and I don't need to think about it again for a year or so, and then I'll be like, ooh, I want to play that again. But that's about it. The second reason is the game didn't really change. The game didn't really change. I've changed, though. I've changed a lot. Classic was a different time for me personally as a games player, and certainly as an MMO games player. I was shit in Classic, which benefited Classic a lot, and my time with Classic, because I was so bad at the game back then, and didn't really come into my own until the Burning Crusade, that every single time I played, I was learning something. I was picking up something new. It was exciting. It was interesting. I was figuring stuff out that I didn't know about. It took me nearly a year to figure out I could cure disease on my priest, because I'd never needed it before. And people were like, priest can cure disease. I'm like, oh, really? This is a disease. And I started figuring all that stuff out, how to manage my mana properly. I was constantly learning and engaging. And also, because I was shit, I was in a shit guild, which meant progress was slow, cumbersome. It took us a while to get things done. Killing Hakkar was a really big deal. Getting through Ahn'Qiraj was a big deal, and my guild couldn't even do it. We had to move guilds and do all that kind of stuff, and I had to get better and grow as a player. And for many people, and this is why I don't think I'm the only one in this boat, for many, many people, that's just not the case anymore. That's really not the case. You're coming for a time where we deal with incredibly, just absolutely exponentially more difficult content into stuff that is way, way easier. It can still wipe you, of course, but way, way easier with way simpler classes and having an easy time of it. And I'm sure for many people, particularly if they're bad at the current game or struggle in the current game, it's nice to feel powerful. There are definitely people playing mages, which were often like thrown at me as this like dog shit easy class. But for some people, just pressing Frostbolt and being top of the damage meter is a really satisfying experience. They don't really care how it's done. It's just the fact that their character is built to do that. And that's all well and good. It's not going to do it for me, though. It's not going to do it for me. I've changed too much. I've moved on for a long, long way, a very long way, when, you know, from that position to being up in the, you know, the famed Slayers and all that kind of bullshit. So that's where I am now. So coming back to it, there's nothing for me to really learn. I definitely learned a couple of things, but they were more like remembering than learning. It's like, oh, okay, it's Onyxia's Fireball that does that, and we can't do this with it. Okay. I seem to remember we did this with Shazra, or we did this with Chromagus, or whatever it might be, but it's not a learning experience. It's not that exciting for me anymore. So it's more me that's changed than the game. Even though the game has changed a little bit, it's not enough to change the fact that as a player, it's been, you know, 12 years. 12 years of getting to the stage where we're making guides and things like that. And as a player, it's like, you know, that aspect of it is missing. But when I was playing originally, and I was still learning every single day, playing 8+ hours a day and learning and finding new things and overcoming new obstacles and working on progression and really sort of grinding my way up the ladder, that was a big, big part of the appeal of playing the game, more so than the game itself. It was just the fact that I was absorbing all this information stuff. And you guys know I crave this stuff. So not having that aspect of it has definitely been a disinterest. Nothing more. Not a hatred, not an anger, not a dislike, just a less interest than I certainly had it originally. And despite how much I loved the nostalgia fix of it, and I did, believe me, don't get me wrong, leveling my warrior was such a wonderful experience. Really fresh, really bright in my eyes, and I did enjoy raiding. I enjoyed gearing my character, I liked seeing his progression with gear, and I also kind of got satisfaction from that. And then when we get to the grind phase, I'm like, there's nothing much for me to do here other than actually just commit time. I just need to give the game time to get through it, to then get more time next time. And that's the reason why. It's nothing to do with what Blizzard has done to the game. I couldn't care less, honestly. None of the changes Blizzard have made have affected me at all. In any way. Like, they really didn't affect me at all. It was just a case of, don't have these aspects of it. And the primary reason, for sure, is just my personal change. So with 8.3 coming, and the commitment I want to make to my current guild, which is going to be doing new things that I don't know about, and learning and progressing a character that is current, that's far more interesting for me. Even though BFA has obviously a lot of problems, that's still much more interesting to me than reliving old content and throwing time at it. And obviously, I'm never going to be the guy who is holding his guild back. As somebody who is tanking for my guild, I'm not going to be there, at least for a month, maybe less if our guild is exceptional, when the new raid tier comes. And that's not fair on those guys either. That's really not fair to be like, oh, well, I'm gone now, and I'll be back later, and I expect my spot back. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not saying I'm never going to go back, but for now, those are the reasons. Nothing to do with the game changing, because when I did mention to people that I had left Classic, it was obviously like, oh, what did Blizzard do? Nothing. Blizzard didn't do anything. There's nothing that harmed me in any way or changed this, so bye-bye for now, Classic. Maybe I'll see you again. But for the sparkle is definitely left. Maybe Blackwing Lair will be something I want to come back for and have a quick look at, but I know I'll be in the same boat again, which is the boat of, yeah, all right, I've seen it again. Cool, bye. I'm certainly not farming it. Let's put it that way. Let's be realistic here. That's not going to happen. So there you go, guys. I know you didn't get much content on it, but it was certainly something people were asking me a lot about. But yeah, Classic, bye bye. See you later, guys. Bye bye.